were about 23, 24 when Balanchine singles you out to do this in 1957?
Yes, I think so. Because he in rehearsal told me that he was around that age when he did it.
Fate.
Something like that.
Yeah. And it's a big night because it's an all-Stravinsky night with the world premiere of Agon. And the revival of Orpheus.
Yeah.
Had you ever seen Apollo?
I had seen films of Lou Christensen, old black and white films. And actually Lou helped me when I came. He was in San Francisco, but when he came in once, they gave me some coaching. Nicholas Magallanes was very important in helping me with it, and I had seen Aglevsky do it in 1950, early 50s. I think he had revived it for Aglevsky.
All right, at City Ballet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you had an idea of the role, and suddenly it's you. And then you, as it happens, go on for doing it for about 17 years. I think
almost
longer than
20.
any other.
I think almost 20.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kept doing it, and finally I realized it's supposed to be, as Balanchine described, a youth who learns nobility through arts. And he used to say to me, and that's you, street boy from Washington Heights.
Do you remember your first rehearsal as Apollo?
Yes, everybody told me just follow Balanchine, just copy him. And Nicholas Magallanes telling me, Jacques, you're going to be doing this role, just follow Balanchine. And he demonstrated beautifully. But he was running a ballet company, teaching class, and premiering Agon. And that's all he cared about, really, Agon. So he showed it to me, and then he said, fine. And I kept waiting for him to come and coach me, right? And he never came. And then it was like a day or two, we were doing the first rehearsal, not with the orchestra, maybe with the set. And I thought he'd come to rehearse, but he ran off to Agon, and he just left me. And I wanted him to make me do it and do it again and do it fast and do it slow and right. And so I just went to the bulletin board in a fury because at that rehearsal I thought I was terrible, and I was. And he came up the stairs to visit the girls' dressing room and walked by and I was waiting for him to tell me that terrible tonight. Tomorrow rehearse with me. We have 3 hours together. I have to fix you. I waited for him to do that, and he didn't. And I stayed there till they were closing the theater. They said, this guy, we're closing the house, right? You got to get out. The building's closing. I went to the bulletin board, and I wrote, tomorrow, rehearsal, 10 to 1, studio so-and-so, Jacques, Apollo, alone.
Wow.
Right? And I got it. I got my 3-hour rehearsal alone in it. And I took the first step, just the first step, and I did it. I did it fast. I did it slow. I did it with my eyes shut. And then I'd do the second, and I'd do it fast, slow. Then I'd do first, second, right? And then all the way till I could do the whole variation, hitting every mark on the stage with my eyes shut, right? And then that 2 or 3 days later was the premiere, and a big difference. And then I thought, why don't I approach every role this way?
Your Apollo included the prologue and the old apotheosis.
Yes, the prologue. And then
which I'm glad to say a few companies still do, and to me that's the great Apollo.
It is. It is. Because
can you tell me about the arc of the role as it was then?
You're born. You're wrapped in swaddling clothes. You know nothing. They unwrap you, right? Which lets you loose from this constriction. And the first thing you do is what every child does, have a tantrum. And everyone's frightened. So the women that are taking care of you, girls that unwrap you, they rush to bring something to you that soothes the savage beast, music. And they present it to you, but you don't know what it is, so they take your hands and they strike the first note. And the minute you hear that, and then you think, oh, I can do this. And then you start doing it, and the lights go black. And now they come up later with you with the musical instrument, and you're still playing with it like a child. And then like a baby, you begin to take your first step. Step up, step up, right? And then you begin to realize you don't have control of your own body. You have to grow up. So you ask, Father, help me. And then, boom, da-da. And you're filled with energy, and you start these turns, and you begin again to get wild. And then, stop it. What? Go to the music. Call in your muses that will teach you nobility. And you go pick up the lute, and this time when you play it, and they come in. And then the other thing is, when they each dance for you, and she comes and shows you, and you sit, don't move, don't look, don't follow them, right? You know everything already. They are telling you what you already know. She comes and shows you, but whatever she wrote, you invented. You don't need it. So don't look, just stay. And then when Terpsichore finishes her dance, and during it you can shift and engage the audience. See, you're sideways, that's the audience. And you're watching them all, and now Terpsichore comes and starts, and when she starts, as if you're watching her, and the audience become like you watching her. And then you stand and you bless her. You find she's the one. Dance and music are the muses that Apollo found as his gifts, or the most important and the most beautiful.
Can you tell me, you've talked about the reaction to the two earlier muses, Calliope, Polyhymnia. Something that doesn't always work in performance is how Apollo indicates his reaction at the end of their variations. How would you understand how he reacts?
Of their variation?
Yes, he turns his head with one, and then he stands and stops.
Yes, because she's not supposed to speak.
What kind of drama expression does he show? Is it deadpan?
Angry.
Angry.
And the way it's expressed is he sticks his fingers out and he grabs his thumb. Ah! Like that. Because she's mine. You're not supposed to speak. And she does all her dance like this. And all of a sudden, in the middle of it, she goes, she said something. Ah! He's angry. Right? You failed. Right? So
what about the way he simply turns his face at the end of Calliope's variation? He just turns it away, doesn't he? It's a
she
kind of
says,
disapproval.
look at this. Look at this. I already know it. Right?
Yeah.
That's it. You can go.
So go on after the end of Terpsichore's variation. Now he's going to have his second
He blesses.
solo.
Yes. Then take your time, go to center, and it's very difficult, that variation. Do you know, I did it for almost 20 years, and I never achieved everything that could be in it.
Did Balanchine or Stravinsky ever tell you where they got this radical conception of Apollo from? Because normally we think of gods as emerging like gods, but here is this raw youth who's a baby and petulant.
Yes, I know that when it was premiered, and if you look at the various metamorphoses of the scenery and costumes, they tried to make Apollo look like a romantic version of a Greek god with curly blonde hair. First of all, the Greeks are not blonde. And if you go to Greece, no, and they're usually short and Mediterranean, right? You don't see big Adonises. That's a Germanic, romantic kind of version of it. And also with leggings
Yeah.
and a tunic with like drape from one shoulder, little gold button, and gold curly hair with the leaves from Olympus, the little green leaves into work. And all that when he revived, for Aglevsky was like that,
Yeah.
right? And Aglevsky was more like Hercules. He was powerful muscles. There wasn't that, he was Hercules,
Yeah.
right? Atlas, Hercules, he had those powerful muscles like you see of that. He wasn't that fine. If you look at Apollo sculptures from Greece, they're very boyish, slim. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
It's
do.
a youth.
Yeah.
And Apollo is eternal youth in a way. And anyway, so he wanted me, he didn't, when I did it, he wanted to get rid of all that. And he said it dates it. It makes it a period and a time. Here, it's music, it's movement, dance. It's a dancer as near nude as possible in good taste, right? A simple tunic, right? He said, no, and there's only concession in my little white shift. He had one gold button. That's
I didn't know about the gold button.
the
It's a
little
white
gold.
kind of sash that you have.
It's
And black tights. You did it in
black tights and white ballet shoes and like practice clothes.
And you can't quite now
white
imagine.
socks and.
To you, it's not a white tights roll, which is how it's always done. No.
Now it's all done in white. I don't know why. He told me that's what I should wear. It's today, young boy from Washington Heights comes and gets rid of the wildness and becomes noble. Simple practice clothes today, young boy, no gold curls, just hair like grease, right? I used to put lanolin in it because that's what he wanted.
Take me through, I'm not sure how easy it is to speak about Apollo psychologically, but if there is a journey in the second solo, take me through what Apollo achieves during that solo.
During the second solo?
Yeah.
It's from day one, he's supposed to show mastery of time and movement and control. The first variation, it's the reverse. You don't know what to do. You're stumbling, you're falling. You don't know what to do with this music. The second one, it's an example of complete control. Oh, it's beautiful.
And when he does that winding down pirouette that ends in the gesture,
yes, and then
is he sort of resting from his labors at the end, having?
no, but I'm there, and of course you've just done a variation and it's very quiet, and they don't applaud at it at the end, or very little, because she has come in and you know it's not finished. So, and if there was any applause at all, I would try to breathe loud. But before the two, and then there'd be some applause. I'd try and, right? I remember doing that, hoping that there would be enough applause that I could get a lot of big loud gasps of air. And you know what he does at the end, which is so beautiful? He leads her. He manipulates her. He puts your hand here, go over there, slide down, come up, slide down, right? He manipulates her. And at the very end, he comes and says, give me your hands. Instead, she gives him her elbows and says, you have my hands. And he, even a god needs to rest a bit. Isn't that
That's
beautiful?
so touching, that.
And now, to reward her, he takes her, he puts her on his back, and they go on a flight.
Perdita ends. And then you leave with Terpsichore. Yes, she does leave too with you too, but she returns to the stage before you do.
Yes, da-dum, 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 the three of them dance. And then he comes in those leaps, wild leaps. And Balanchine said, just throw yourself in the air, twist, fall. And it's beginning to explode with the power and energy of a wild youth, untamed. And they grab your arms and they bring you back, 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 and you stop to earth. And it's like mice. He used to call that mice. And then it's time to go, so you rehearse the chariot, right? And the three girls become the horses, and you do that whole thing, and you turn the corner, your leg goes around, and then finally, all right, now you have rehearsed the mastery of taking the sun across like that. You stop, enough, and now they say, oh, time to go. Ta-da!
It's like another echo of the Terpsichore moment, time for you to rest, the god to rest on the women's.
Exactly. Time. All right. Wait for the call. Ta-da! Ta-da! It's the call. Ta-da! Da-dee, yes. And now you start on your way, and it's so beautiful. You start to go, and you stop to turn around and go bless the toe shoes of the ballerinas. Is that not the most beautiful thing? They each bring their toe shoe up to your hand to get blessed. And at that point, time to go. And they don't want you to go. They keep holding you. They keep holding you. And you turn around.
Is that when you do the ring of the arms?
Yes. And then you say, give me your hands. Get down. Stand up. Get down. 3 times. And now, keep away. Time for me to go. And then you go, and they follow, and you go up. And it used to be a rock. Now it's a thin black staircase, which was terrifying because it was makeshift. So as you took those steps, the thing would shake a little. And you can't look. You're not supposed to look at your feet. You have to keep looking up as you go.
You told me the first time we met, it was an astonishment to you because Balanchine, in every other ballet he made, was just do the movement, this is what it is. But this time he was giving you meanings, images,
yes,
such as you'd never heard from him. And Apollo,
that's right. He usually didn't do that. He usually just do step, listen to music, make step with music. That's all. Don't give me Euripides. Right? I don't need Shakespeare or anything like that. Just do the steps. But in Apollo's case, that he filled me with ideas and images all the time.
But Balanchine almost for no other ballet, so it came, it seems, from somewhere else in his
Well, because I wonder how much he got from Diaghilev, from Stravinsky, but Li Fa was his instrument. He had to please Diaghilev by doing something beautiful. But he and Stravinsky were already becoming artistic twins, joined together with music. And then he said to me that when I first did Apollo, choreographing it and working on it, I first realized that I didn't have to use everything I had. I learned how to edit. Before that, I would try to get every idea into every step, every movement, every piece of choreography, and it was excess. And he said, I learned how to edit myself.
It's interesting that what you do, it is a kind of acting as Apollo, but it's never hammy. And I have seen, for example, the moment you just demonstrated beautifully, when your Apollo wakes and hears the call at the end of the ballet. Yeah. I've known that done like pure Joan Crawford, with exaggerated eyes.
No,
it never was with you, at least to judge you from film.
You don't need it. Yeah. That ruins it.
But that can be the danger, as you know, of motivating a dancer. Somehow with you it never did.
I was at the right time, at the right place, with the right person.